Absolutely. And so one of our goals for this webinar is to sort of give you some tips to let you leave feeling equipped to find this artwork yourself, where you could read more about it, and then additional artworks as well. So we're going to now take you to the museum's website, and we're going to show you how you might find this particular artwork on our website. Okay, so we're done with our Google Doc.
If you can't see our screen for any reason, just let us know in the chat box.
Let us know in the chat box if you're having any technical issues. But what I'm going to do is put the URL for the SAAM website into the chat box. Okay, and so I'm going to just show you some basic navigation here. So in this case, we know the most direct way to find an artwork on our website is when you already know the title of the artwork, okay? Or similarly, if you already know the artist that you're looking for. So if you know the artwork or the artist that you're looking for, once you get to our homepage here, you're going to click on the Art and Artists section, okay? And then you're going to focus on this area here to the left, the Search the Collection. And you have two options there, and we're going to show you both of them. The most straightforward one is search for an artwork or artist. And so this is going to work well in this case when we know the actual artwork and the artist that we're looking for. So this search box, it works a lot like just a Google search, right? So we know that we're looking for an artwork named State Names. And when we search for it, that's the first result that comes up. You can also, just like in Google searches, if you want the exact phrase, you can put quotation marks around it. And so instead of getting kind of all the results that you get here, it's going to narrow it for you, okay? But either way, because State Names is the name of the artwork, it's going to come up in our search. And then we'll click on the title. And then this takes you to an object page. So all of those 30,000 artworks in our collection that are digitized, they have object pages that look like this. And so you'll see the title of the artwork at the top, and then you'll see the image itself. There are a couple things right below the image. One of the things that you can do is you can download the image. Okay? So that's great. You can download it and save it. It's high resolution. If you click on zoom, you can sort of zoom in on different parts of the artwork. And then over here, you have all of what we call the tombstone information. So the name of the artist, the title of the artwork, the year it was created, the medium, and then who owns it, any credit line information that we have, and then the very last thing is the accession number. That, if you're ever curious about when a museum acquired an object, you can find that information in the accession number. So we acquired this object in 2004. It was the 28th object that we acquired in the year 2004. And so all of this information you can copy to a clipboard simply by clicking that and then paste it into a Word document or into a PowerPoint. Okay? Then the next thing that you'll find is if there's any label text, not all of the objects that are on view in the museum have an extended label. They might just have the tombstone information. But whenever we have an artwork that does have more detailed wall labels, you'll find it here on the object page of the website. So we have a quote from the artist that comes from a catalog from 2004. And then we have one of the labels that was on the wall at one point when this work was on view. It is currently on view right now. Over here on the right, you're going to see more of that tombstone information. And almost always you're going to have the artist name hyperlinked. If you click on the artist name, it's going to take you to our artist bio page. And so here you have some information about the artist herself here, okay? If you go back to the object page, if there's an associated video, it's going to be embedded here. And so we do have a video with John Quick to see Smith, and so that's embedded right here. You could just click play, and you can watch it in our website, or you could click YouTube and take you to YouTube to watch it. And then as you scroll down even further, if we have other artworks in the collection by that artist, you're going to see them here. So we have one other work in our collection by Smith, and you can see it right here. You could click on that, and it would take us to that object page. Okay. All right, so that is the most straightforward way to find an artwork when you already know what it is that you're looking for. But what if you don't know what you're looking for? What if you want to see what SAAM has on X topic, right? Native Americans, for the example, which is the topic of today's webinar. So then what I would recommend is from the home page, when you go to Art and Artists, instead of searching for an artwork or artist, do the second option, which is our advanced collection search. And then this is going to take you to an interface that looks a little bit different than what we saw on the SAAM website specifically. This is actually kind of a centralized search. It says Smithsonian Institution at the top instead of the Smithsonian American Art Museum. But the link has already been sort of filtered so that when you click on the link from the SAAM website, all of the works that come up, all of the search results are going to be part of our collection. So it's already limited it in that way for you. So there are a couple of things that you could do. So you could just type, for example, Native Americans in the search box, click apply, and see what we get. And we have 1,693 results, okay? So then I'm going to go back so that we sort of, I'm going to clear that. Just kind of go back to where we were to begin with. Over here on the left, there are some other options for us that could be really helpful. So for example, you could click on culture, okay? And then you see our different options here. And then you can see 1,644 works by Native Americans. But then there are also these kind of subcultures within it where you can see selections from either specific tribes or specific regions. So that could be really helpful. Another way that you could kind of limit your results would be by date. Okay? So say, for example, we're going to include the term Native Americans from under culture. And we've got over 1,600 results. Right? Now if we go down to the date range, and if we click See All at the bottom, it's going to arrange them sort of in order of the decades that we have the most artwork to the decades that we have the least artwork. So you can see that we have 500 artworks related to the topic Native Americans from the 1830s, from that decade specifically, and that's kind of by far the highest decade. And we're going to kind of problematize that a little bit as we move forward. So that's another way you can narrow your search results. And then also by name. Okay? So here we have artists that are within the search that we've done on Native Americans. And so these are not, however, all Native American artists. These are artists whose artwork has been classified, that metadata has been classified under the topic Native Americans. And by far, for the Smithsonian American Art Museum, the artist who has the most works in our collection related to Native Americans is George Catlin. So we have about 500 works by that artist.